Welcome to the Trumped Up Live Show. This is your host, Tony Cross HUG. Always remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments. Today, man, I want to go into I want to go into it with Anton Daniels, right? The reason why I want to go into it with Antoine Daniels is based on the fact that, man, he's being so real about one key issue with regards to the Trump administration in comparison to the Obama administration with regards to black people, right? I feel that a lot of times black people are not really engaging in the whole aspects of what Donald Trump is doing necessarily for the community, right? So today, I think it's a key aspect that we open up a little bit about it. And the reason why I want to open up about it is because more recently, man, it was a guy that I was talking to. It was a guy that I was talking to. He told me, man, like, man, you know what, man? He was like, you know what? I gotta give it up to, man, that boy Donald Trump, man. He was like, man, I gotta give it up to that dude, man. That dude, man. I was like, yeah, man, it's a man in office, huh? We got a man up in office, huh? Like, yeah, he the best example of what a man is that we see in leadership to this day. You know what I'm saying? Well, he's an example of what the possibilities of a man do. Why it's so much a rhetoric against the powers of man, against masculinity and all that. He's coming in and he doing the correct thing. He's fixing a lot of stuff. He's fixing a lot of stuff, right? So what I want to do is I want to go into it today with Anton Daniels because I believe that he drives home. He says a lot of stuff that I don't want to say I necessarily would say. I wouldn't say I don't want to say because I don't want to offend people too much. So he might help me bring it out a little bit. But at the same time, I like the way he just goes in on it. Let me see if I can get over here. Let's see. Let me switch it up a little bit. So you're gonna have Anton Daniels. He gonna go in, man. On It says, let me see. What it say? No, well, let me let the video start, and let me allow you to listen in because he goes in on black people, right? The thumbnail says something else. I couldn't show you the thumbnail at the moment. However, this is where the video begins. So let's just start it.
Democrat black people are afraid to be vocal about the fact that they do not agree with illegal migrants over here inside of this country. The blackest of the black people are afraid to be honest about the fact that Trump is right, but they don't want to actually agree with him because it would actually say that to be Republican is more closely aligned with our values. And so they just shut the fuck up and they just say, man, I don't like Trump. Well, what don't you like about him? Same thing that Corey was saying. You don't think that they racist? Nigga, I don't give a fuck about what you think. I care about what's actually going on. I care about what's happening. What would I care? Why would I care? No. See, look, Eric, watch Eric. Eric says, no, most blacks admit that illegal migration is wrong. They won't say that Trump is right about deporting illegal migrants. That's the key. They deflect, they don't give credit, they try to act like they don't agree with Trump, but Trump is right and he's more closely aligned with black people than black people want to admit. He the one that actually is doing the shit that y'all thought Obama was Trump. That's the truth. Trump is who y'all thought Obama was going to be for you guys. Oh, you don't want to have that conversation. Trump is who you thought Obama was.
Man, listen, I'm gonna keep it 100. I think that Donald Trump is the closest thing to a black president that we didn't have to really go into the short term aspects of what the black people need at this moment to actually conjure up our momentum towards being successful, man. You know what I'm saying? Think about this, man. People forget, man. Donald Trump, man, as soon as he came into office for his first term, one of the first things he did, he started the Second Chance Act. He began the Second Chance Act, which decriminalized crack cocaine to from the difference between so you can get the same amount of time for crack cocaine for powder cocaine. So let me reemphasize that a little bit. So powder cocaine was mainly a white people's drug. More so for it was more of a Hollywood thing, kind of like sort of. It was more accepted in certain areas than you necessarily would have in the urban communities, right? So in the more of the urban communities, the ghettos, more of the like the street on the street level, crack cocaine was more of the thing to do than powder cocaine. But you will get different times for just adding baking soda to the powder substance, which is the powder cocaine. When you would get like man a substantial amount of years difference. You can get almost a life sentence, like a little. You take a whole generation from you. For powder cocaine, when you probably get, I mean, for crack cocaine, when powder cocaine, you can probably get 3 to 5 years. Instead, with crack cocaine, you would end up getting like 20 years, man, for the same amount of substance. I mean, for the same amount of the same substance. The only difference was that you added baking soda to it. You stirred it in a pot, you heated it, and so people forget about that, right? And it on a basic standpoint, you got to remember that what happened. You got to remember that what happened with regards to the reason why the Biden administration allowed so many individuals to come over here in the first place is because we was in COVID-19 and there was a labor shortage. There was a labor shortage, and so in order for them to fill the gap with the labor shortage, what they ended up doing was they ended up allowing a lot of immigration over here to fill those gaps. Okay, but now here's the thing: it became way too overwhelming to where these people are taking jobs from people who actually want the availability of having job. I think a lot of times what's also happening right now is a lot of jobs are getting abusive with regards to their employees because you have so many people over here that will take advantage of these opportunities, and it's becoming a lack of respect for the employees over here. Individuals who want to receive some level of decency. You got people that just come over here and say, "I'll take it. I'll take the job."
because he's the one that's actually tackling birthright citizenship being leveraged and used for people that are not African descendants of slaves. He is the person that's actually taking that shit up to the Supreme Court. Trump is the one that's saying, listen, we not taking resources out of the communities because guess where they dump all of these illegal migrants at? In your community. And guess where all of the resources go? To them. Tax dollars, shelter, policing, your schools. They was giving them food stamps. Fraud, helping them start businesses, get licenses. In Chicago, that was helping them buy homes. And over there in Los Angeles. Healthcare coverage, raising your taxes. So all of the shit that they was actually supposed to be giving to you, they gave it to them. And you shut the fuck up like the bitch you are. But you'll sit here and go off on me and say, oh man, I can't believe you a black conservative. Nigga, we all black conservatives. We all supposed to be Republicans. That's our party. And you know what I hate? And this is the argument of these dumb motherfuckers.
Before you get on to what hey, listen. When I was younger, I never understood why my parents, my uncles, and stuff like that chose the Republican Party. And I used to be like, man, why are you choosing the Republican Party? Why are you choosing the Republican Party over the Democratic Party when the Republican Party is always sponsored to be about for the people? And I never really understood why until I'm getting older and I realized that the whole strategy of the Democratic Party is to keep you locked in dependency instead of giving allowing you to be have an agency for your own well-being, your own not only your well-being but your own economic success. They want you to be completely dependent on them, and they're controlling you in your sense of dependency on them. You know what I'm saying? It's not about free will. You lose all thoughts of and aspects and aspirations for free will when you got you. Let me and listen. It's all about if a man don't work, he don't eat. If a man don't want to go to work every day, get up and go about life in order for you to put food in your stomach, and if I am a child and have to depend on my parents to make the table for me, just think about that. Then my parents gonna always have that control over me to do what they want me to do. They always gonna be setting me chores, telling me to do this. This just like what they doing right now. When you see the rhetoric the that's coming from the Democratic Party, they basically telling the immigrant population and their people who has unified with them in terms of like family reunification to stand up against what is happening, stand up against them trying to send you back because you are our new minority in this country that we feel that is the basis that we want to be a basis of our party that we simply want to control. We feel like we control you guys so much that we gonna tell you to go to war with the government. It's disrespectful.
Public will say. But the party switched. No, they didn't, nigga. No, they didn't. How you gonna sit there and say that something switched? Let's say hypothetically it would switch. Why would you let them take and hijack your thing? They didn't switch. We still the same conservative Republican people. Do you know what it means to be Republican? It means that you want less tax money coming out of your paycheck. It means that you want lower taxes, including property taxes, income taxes, bad taxes. You want lower millages. It means that you want less government having a say so in your life. It means that you believe in having public safety and that your children should be able to walk to school. It also means that you don't want men and women's bathrooms. It means you want less government interference.
Man, wasn't that the most scariest thing to just know, even from a male's perspective? From a male's perspective, I was afraid for these women who were going to have to be subjected to having men in their restroom. I remember one day I walked. I mean, I was at the beach. I was probably like 7 years old. Well, I don't know how old I was. I was like probably like preschool, kindergarten, first grade or something. Man, me and my family must have went to the beach. It was like a family day. It's a whole bunch of us, right? It's girls, it's boys. But here I am, you know, I'm not paying attention to the signs. I'm not paying attention to the signs between like the girls' room and the boys' room. And it's like they got shower rooms at the beach. At this point in time, I don't know if they got those no more to where everybody can just go into a room and shower, right? It's like a little brick building. I mean, not a little concrete building or whatever. And my little young self must have walked into the girls' portion of the shower area. And I walked in, it was a lot of little young girls. Mind you, I'm in preschool. I'm in like kindergarten, first grade or something like that at this time, right? It's the family day we at the beach. And all the girls in that thing just screaming. And I'm just looking around like, what y'all screaming about? What y'all screaming about? and they all just screaming. And they just looking at me and they just screaming, and I'm just got my eyes big like, what's going on? What happened? Listen, so I can imagine my family had to call me about it, and I'm like, no, not that one. To go over here. Listen, so I can imagine. You know what I'm saying? Coming from that experience, the feeling that a female will get when she's have to go to the restroom, knowing that this individual who's in the restroom with her is actually a man. Listen, mind you that they try to do the same thing. They try to do the same. They try to do the. That's a lesson. They try to do the same thing with regards to the prison system, where they were trying to put transgendered males in the females' prison, and it was a bunch of females in women's prisons coming up pregnant.
In your life so that you will have the freedom to do what you want to do. Isn't that what y'all said that y'all wanted? Ain't that the whole idea behind you want to have your own communities? You want to do what you want to do. You want to decide how you want things to go. Well, that is what being a conservative Republican is. It's less government interference, more freedom, freedom to say what you want to say, freedom to do what you want to do, freedom to do who and marry who you want to marry. Whatever the fuck you want to do, you can go and do it as long as you don't impede on somebody else's ability to do what they want to do and you're not pushing some fuckboy agenda. That's all it means. Listen, they not necessarily against gay marriage. That's what it means to be conservative. To be a Republican is you have the freedom to do what you want to do. But guess where the line is drawn?
Like I said, my bad, y'all. The problem is the line is drawn when you're trying to push that onto everybody else. That's where the line has to be drawn in at. It's all right if man you can be whatever you want to in private. You could do that in the privacy of your home, but once you're trying to bring that inside to the social construct and what we have as a people, when you're trying to radicalize the balance that we have in a way that's such that makes you not only you force it down our throats, you trying to force it down our kids' throats. Now there's a line that has to be drawn with regards to that. You know what I'm saying? Okay, if you feel that you were a female and you want to be a male and you go through that transition, or you don't want to, there's a term for a psychological term for it. You don't want to live by the characteristics of what a female is, and you are female because you don't feel comfortable with being a female in the female's body. That's your own personal uh, ideas about with regards to yourself. Why you got to go push that onto everybody else? We ain't got to necessarily like the idea. We ain't got to necessarily like the idea. We got to respect it, but at the same time, it shouldn't be pushed down our throats like that. You know what I'm saying? You can identify with whoever you want to be. You can, I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's your characteristics. It's yours, social construct of how you see yourself, right? However, when you trying to force it down the kids' throats, like this is necessarily what being a man and a female is. It's all right for a man to kiss another man. It's all right for a female to kiss another female. This is socially accepted when it's really not, and you just force it at a time when it's not. In LA, they got their own little area, right? In Los Angeles, we got their own little area, and pretty much anything up Santa Monica Boulevard, people know if they see you on Santa Monica Boulevard in Los Angeles, they like it. They got their eyebrows up at you. I don't care from anywhere from on Santa Monica Boulevard from you could say all the way up from Normandy, Santa Monica and Normandy Boulevard, all the way up until a little bit past San Vicente. I would say like, man, like anywhere by Robertson, anywhere by San Vicente. It's like when a person to see you going down Monica Boulevard down, necessarily that don't mean that you are, but that's their community. They have a community in that area to where they can go and mingle and do their thing. Now everybody else, we don't be on Santa Monica. We'll go on Melrose. You know what I'm saying? Why push it? Then you if they got their own little area like that, it's not necessarily segregation. But man, we most people do not like seeing a man kiss another man.
Is that you should not be pushing this shit in schools. No, we should not have trans people getting health care on our government dime. No, we should not have trans people going in our libraries and teaching our children. No, we should not be having this shit being pushed as an LGBTQ agenda. And no, there should not be special groups that is getting special funding and being able to get in certain positions that you deserve to get into because you're better based off of merit and your ability to think, do, and execute on whatever it is that you got going on. That is what it means to be a Republican. That's it. That's the basic foundation of it. We are a Republican people. But because you hate Trump so bad, and Trump is the person that Obama thought he was, Trump is doing the things that you thought Obama would do for you. Man, let me tell you something, bro. If Obama had tackled birthright citizenship, y'all would be praising this nigga. He would be the greatest president for black people to y'all that y'all have ever seen in y'all entire life. If Obama even acknowledged black people while he was in office in any capacity when it came to policy, in any capacity when it came to defending y'all, in any capacity when it came to funding you, in any capacity when it came to acknowledging you, you would be worshiping him. Trump is doing the things that you asked Obama to do. What are you talking about? He never even acknowledged birthright citizenship. Never. Never, never, ever, under no circumstances. Y'all are the ones that say, y'all niggas use the word tether like it's going out of style. I don't even think that half of you niggas is literate enough to use the word tether. Trump is getting people out of here that ain't supposed to be here. Okay, so don't that closely align with y'all agenda? Ain't that exactly what y'all said that y'all wanted?
Yeah, like don't y'all want y'all communities back? You know what I'm saying? Because it's not only y'all communities that's beginning to get taken over. And I'm talking to black people. But white people communities are beginning to get took over too. And this is where the problem is. This is where the problem really lies because they've been taking over black communities. So we have learned how to merge it in a sense to where it's like, first of all, black people is one of the coolest people in the world. One of the coolest people in the world. Black people are known to be the coolest people in the world in terms of just chilling out. It's another thing to where they get all these numbers and all of a sudden now it's a problem with now we become like the minority in the community. Or we become the new the like the how would you say we become the individuals that's in the community that necessarily not supposed to be there, but we here. But the difference is that we not being so much appreciated as they were when they came over here. And you see this a lot of times. You know what I'm saying? You see this a lot of times in LA. Everybody in LA, they go about how racially segregated Los Angeles is. They not talking about, well, they are talking about between whites, Hispanics, and blacks. But when you introduce this new divide, it used to be primarily whites, blacks, and you see sprinkles of Asians, and they had them in the stores. Man, it's so populated. They have populated Los Angeles so much, right? And I'm not. This is, you know, from not just the southern border, right? And so don't get me wrong, but the immigration population is so much in Los Angeles that they have begun to They are now 39% of the Los Angeles economy. And they kicking people that's been here for generations out of the workforce. Listen, the other day I seen some young black males attempting to sell water on the street corner. These young black males was attempting to sell water on the street corner for a hustle. And the next day, I seen some grown ass 40-year-old Hispanic males and females basically trying to out hustle these young teenagers from being able to sell water on the street corner. $1 water. You trying to out hustle kids. These same people that's seeking out opportunities, these same youth that you talking about don't want to get out here and work. Here they didn't created a hustle to get out here on and sell waters and not sell, drugs or anything else. But you take this hustle away from kids when it's like, man, you can't think of you as a grown 40-year-old person. You got to come. You see these kids out here hustling like this, and you got to come. We gonna get out here early before them. We gonna post up before them, and we gonna push just like they pushing out here. We gonna sell these waters. I mean, that was the most disrespectful thing, to where you want to take a kid's hustle away from them. And this is the problem where that we have it in these communities right now, where they trying to push us out of everything.
No, you didn't want that. You didn't want that. The fuck is we talking about? Fuck is we talking about? Obama done made more money off of you niggas than ever before. They still touring. Hear this nigga, Michelle. Niggas on the National Geographic Network. This nigga narrating polar bears and shit. Man,
Listen, and this is not to necessarily start any racial conflicts. Excuse me. This is not to necessarily start no racial conflicts, but the whole idea about this is this, right? Even they know. Like, we over here this tearing it up. We over here taking away all the opportunities away from them. They just know it. When these people that did so much for this country, we over here taking away all the opportunities away from them, and then disrespect them on top of that. Everything that we supposed to been benefiting from. And at first, it was the Asian population who was, you know, primarily benefiting from all the aspects that we had fought for with regards to civil rights. All right, but then when the cartels necessarily start and begin to charge fees over here for the individuals who they brought across the border, people don't even know, right? The whole aspect of sanctuary state started from with California in 2007. I think it was Senate Bill 54. It's sanctuary state started in California. So you wonder why California has 39% of an immigrant population in its economic workforce. But the whole impact of this whole idea about how a sanctuary state started, was the impact of it was to stop the gangs from victimizing the individuals who had came across here from other countries and who was trying to set up shop over here, whether it regarded businesses, swap meets out there on the streets, these food vendors out there, the gangs out here. And it was primarily, you could say, it wasn't black gangs, it was Hispanic gangs, was victimizing those individuals. And so Senate Bill 54 regarded allowing these individuals to report these crimes without being deported. And so now today, what we have the state of California replacing the gangs and being exactly to the gang. I mean, to these individuals that the gangs was what they tried to prevent these individuals from how these individuals was being treated with regards to these gangs. The state of California are now acting like them same individuals that they were attempting to protect them or attempting to protect them from. Mind you, this also, if that's the case, all right, then you are infringing upon your own sanctuary state law. If the whole intention of the sanctuary state policies was to allow these individuals to report crimes without the fear of deportation, that doesn't stop them from being deported when they have committed an illegal act. So you're infringing on, you're overriding your own policies, or you're infringing upon it, you're violating your own policy just because when it is known that these people have committed a criminal act, that doesn't stop them from getting deported. That's more reason that they have committed a reason for them to be deported. They haven't been victimized. They have become the person that is creating victims, basically, right? They have become the criminal that they have become the criminal themselves. So unlawful entry is one thing, right? And you being victimized is one thing. There's two different aspects of the law where these sanctuary state policies and these sanctuary city policies don't fit into play when it regards to allowing these individuals to be deported. These individuals should be deported just based on law and order. People don't like to hear that, but if we don't assert the laws in this country, we gonna have issues like we having it today. And when you honestly look at the Democratic Party are absolutely on this issue are attempting to draw out a civil war because these have the black people. You are not. You have got to understand. You are not who the Democratic Party is looking for to conjuring up votes or doing anything for. Because if they would, by this time, if they wanted to do it for you, they would have done it already. Instead, they trying to give it to everybody else but you.
Where this nigga at? Obama's out there living his best life. Y'all don't see this nigga until election season. If it ain't about that punk ass library in Chicago, which they don't even live in Chicago no more, if it ain't about that punk ass library or an election season where he's trying to influence y'all in order to go against y'all man, women, and telling y'all not voting for somebody. The only time this nigga ever acknowledged even being black or something black adjacent is election season when he's scolding you niggas about how you voting and he's sending his wife to tell y'all women to go against the man inside of their household. At what point does that ever benefit you? Every time I ask somebody, I say, listen, what did Obama do for you? Whispers, silent. He was in office for 8 years. 8 years. 8. And you can't say thing, one thing that this nigga ever did for y'all.
I can name one thing. I can't name it off back, but what he did certainly help the individuals with. He helps incarcerated people be able to get degrees again. At first, incarcerated those people that were incarcerated weren't allowed to get uh, some certain type of degrees or something like that. But he allowed those people that was incarcerated to begin receiving college degrees again. But that's just for the incarcerated people. But if you weren't incarcerated, I don't really know anything else that Obama absolutely did for the black community when he was president. I mean, particularly, mass incarceration was a big topic when he was in office. You know what I'm saying? Places like California had the biggest prison population. Places like Texas got the biggest prisons. I think I forget the number, but more people are enslaved, or excuse me, more people are incarcerated today than was in slavery during slave times. One in every six black males are going to prison. And this has been a recurrent issue ever since the convict leasing laws, where you get the 13th Amendment stating that the 13th Amendment states that, how is it stated? The only, basically, the only, you should not be under any involuntary servitude unless you have been duly convicted of a crime. This is where you get the convict leasing, whole idea of convict leasing from. So, if there is one thing that he did do for the black community on a long-term basis, that's one thing. That's was attempting to re-educate the incarcerated people. But besides that, Trump has did a lot more for the black community than Obama has.
Not one thing. Not one thing at all. Played in your face. Played in your face and told you that it was raining. Pissed on you. Used you. Abused you. And then gave y'all homosexuality inside of your communities and told you you're going to love it and like it. And you said, hey, girl. Told you that homosexuality, this nigga went so hard for people that live an alternative lifestyle and you love them for it. This nigga was Commodus. This nigga was Commodus. This nigga was Marcus Aurelius' son. He gave you games. Gave you niggas games, and y'all loved him for it.
Man, one thing that I noticed about the Democratic Party that I'm really not liking about the Democratic Party right now is that when you look at the Democratic Party, man, what you will see is that they are about party. Democratic Party is about party. So when Obama got into office, they look at him as a pulpit, a stance, or a point of influence to influence the black vote. That's all he was to the Democratic Party, is a way to influence and begin to control the black vote. Because right after he left office, we get President Joe Biden. And what was happening at the time, we had Trump, then Joe Biden. But what was happening at the time was right after COVID-19, we was having an issue with regards to people getting back into the workforce after losing their jobs because of the COVID-19 whole thing. People had lost their jobs, and people didn't want to go back into the workforce that they were in. They were searching for better opportunities. They wanted to, from a Republican aspect, they wanted to reimagine themselves besides going back into the same type of employment that they were in. They wanted to be more free and entrepreneurial instead of going to a job every day, a 9 to 5 every day, in which they were miserable and working towards and being at. They wanted to reimagine themselves, use that as an opportunity after they got fired, put so many years into an employer. We had a lot more Americans wanting to pursue their free will in being entrepreneurial. And so here you had Joe Biden that says, open up the borders. We gonna get people back into the workforce. The only way we gonna do this is we gotta allow a surge of immigrants over here to boost the economy up, because employers were looking for people to work in these jobs, And the American pretty much got fed up. Like, hold on, wait a minute. I don't want to go back into a workforce where I'm so vulnerable again. I don't want to get myself back into a workforce that is so vulnerable to where something can happen economically, and here I am, I'm unable to pay my bills. Let me be more self reliant. The whole idea of Republican aspect. Let me be more self reliant on securing myself a lot better than having to go into a 9 to 5 and work for somebody else. Let me put more emphasis in working on myself. If the economy goes bust, well, then I have a lot more securement. I have a lot more securement instead of working a 9 to 5 every day just to pay bills, man.
Oh my God. Trump at least told you the truth from the very beginning, even in his first term. He said, man, listen, it was more money flowing into the black community. Black people had actually rose up in their earnings during Trump's first term. Money was booming. That's why black people were so conflicted. I don't know if I want to vote for him again. Orange man bad. Gave you Biden, fucked up your money, fucked up your life, fucked up your affordability, fucked up everything that was happening in your life, and you wanted Trump to come back and fix it in 1 year in his second term after they just completely destroyed every fucking thing inside of the United States of America. Booming. Everybody was getting money. Everybody was getting money. Economy was booming. Stocks was up. You know what I'm saying? Our portfolios was running up, nigga. You couldn't miss. You could not miss from 2016 through 2020. If you didn't get no money in 2016 through 2020, you just a bum ass dude. You a bum. You could not miss during Trump's first term. Everybody got money. Everybody got money. Everybody was running up. You had a choice between what jobs you wanted to get. And then they was conflicted because they didn't want it. They didn't know if they wanted to let their racist heart make the play for them, or if they actually wanted to continue to run up a bag. And let me tell you how dumb as fuck we are. We voted against our own money interests. We voted against our own best interests on identity politics, and y'all let these women lead y'all at the polls. Lead y'all at the polls. And they almost did it again. They almost did the whoop-de-doo on us again. Had a whole thing, spent $1.5 billion. Black church ain't nothing but evil women. Evil women that hate they men and can't wait to champion their gay best friend. That's all the black church is and has become. Now, of course, we know that there are some good black churches, but I'm talking about the ones that are promoted the most. That's why y'all was offended when Drewski did the sketch.
Man, I am surprised about how divided black love has become in terms of, especially in the black community, how much that the black woman has been pinned against the black man. There has been a lot more, I should say. It's just like I don't I don't know if a lot of people know this, but it seems like black women just hate the black man so much nowadays. Our black women hate us in a lot of ways, and I don't understand why. They now don't get me wrong, it's not all of them, but I have seen a lot more black women on attack against black men than ever before. Than ever before. And I'm talking about some good black men. This whole aspect of, them putting themselves out there on social media, them feel like they always wanted a game, man. Let me tell you something. You can't listen, you can't play a man. You listen, the only way you gonna play a man if he lets you play a man. But you cannot think you can outsmart a man for you can outsmart a man in the game that the man created in the first place. You, You guys are latecomers and you guys are playing yourselves, especially when it comes to attacking your black man. You guys are hurting yourselves more than you're helping yourselves. Now, what you need to do is, from a perspective, is if you've made a lot of bad decisions in your past, just like man, what man got to do? If we make a lot of bad decisions in our past, we go and make a better decision with regards to our females the next time. We learn our lessons and then we just eventually move on. Women have to do the same thing. Instead of just hating your black man like that, I see so much attack. With regard, I get so much attack from black women, man. It's just like, man, what's wrong with y'all? Like, listen, let me tell you something. If me as a man allow myself to be controlled off the ideologies that women have in the way of life that a woman goes about her life, then I wouldn't be a man. Wouldn't no woman appreciate me or respect me. So as a man, I got to do the type of things that Donald Trump is doing today, and that is, I know what's right. I'm gonna go about what's right. I'm gonna do what's right. You know what I'm saying? Whether you feel like it's right or wrong, I know how things gotta go. I'm gonna take the leadership role in this, and I'm gonna get it done. That's the whole idea of what a man is. That's why I say Donald Trump. If your man that can't get stuff done in your household, you ain't got no faith in him. If your man go in and say that I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and he don't get it done, don't when none of you women believe in the concept of that who that man is. Y'all look at him like, yeah, I bet you are. Uh-huh, yeah. I bet you are, huh? Uh-huh, okay. You wouldn't have no faith in your man. You wouldn't have the ability to feel a sense of security that you would need from a man if your man, when he said he was gonna get something done, he was unable to fulfill on that promise. Right or wrong. So I don't understand what the whole idea comes from, and he's going into it. Why is the black woman being so pinned up against the black man? But I'm really getting tired of it. I am really getting tired of it, and it's sad because I love my black woman so much, but at the same time, I just feel like the black woman has hated us, and don't let them get in a group of friends to where they start to just hound on you like a pack of kittens, cat fighting with you can't listen, you cat fighting with no grown ass man don't work.
They don't like the fact that I say what I say when I say it because it then makes them upset because we're talking about their hero. We're talking about their hero. We're talking about the thing that they don't want to get uncomfortable with. And you still think that you are a flaming liberal. You are a flaming Democrat because your parents told you to. But that's reflective of what we see happening in communities today because everybody is just going based off of a Me Too statement. Even the people that disagree with me, think about the people that disagree with me and what happened on the Corey Holcomb platform. They're repeating what other people said. They didn't even, half these niggas didn't even watch anything but a 30-second clip. Me Too ass motherfuckers. That's why it's easy to see when you study, it's much easier to disarm the people that's not prepared. I'm thinking about Corey Holcomb. How do you not know, or at the very least have a nigga give you cue cards on what there is to know about me and study me? How do you not know who the person is that's gonna absolutely come and destroy you? How do you not know anything about what the fuck you talking about when I'm coming up there? Nigga, I am a masterclass. I'm a walking masterclass. A walking masterclass. There is nothing that I'm not prepared for. I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do to you, and then I'm gonna do it to you, and then I'm gonna laugh while I'm walking out the door. I'm a walking motherfucking masterclass. There is no environment that I have not walked into in a debate and won overwhelmingly. Not even debatable. Dumb motherfuckers. We so unprepared. We so unserious. We're an unserious people. We're an unserious people. Now, for the people in the chat, I'm about to read some of the super chats for the people in the chat. Let me tell you, um, 99 times out of 100, I don't acknowledge people that don't have profile pictures. I think you niggas jerk off in your socks. But I do allow for you niggas to still stick around because I like the engagement and I know that you're subscribed.
Excuse me for that. All right, man. He was going on with regards to this little interview that he came to LA about with regards to the dude Corey. Corey is a comedian. He's a podcaster now. They had a little back and forth that could have ended up being a little scuffle, right? But if I feel like both parties had something to necessarily learn from each other, because what you were dealing with at the time of that interview, you had two different aspects. Hold on, just a minute. You had two different aspects of people coming from um, two di- two different sects of the black community, right? You have a person who, you know, how can I put this? You had a square meet a I want to call Corey a thug, but you had a square dude. Now, it's not to say that Corey want to go to prison or nothing like that, but you had a square dude who has been college educated and stuff like that. Does some studying because I just believe that this is opportunity for us to study. I believe not only do I study him, I study politics as well. Even though I can't go into depth like I want to all the time, I do sit there, had enough sense to sit there and analyze things. Right, I'm a great analyzer. And, I'm even though I haven't been able to pick up my game on book reading and stuff like I want to in this current situation because I am hustling and grinding so much. I do feel like I need to start picking up once again, probably reading a book or two, probably book or two a month or something like that, because the books are able to form your mind. They can indoctrinate you too to believe in certain stuff, but it's just having the ability to open up your mind. So here you guys have with that whole interview with him and Corey. You had a dude that read a whole lot of books versus a dude who hasn't. You had a book smart dude versus a street smart dude, basically. And so that was the opportunity for those dudes to kind of, you know, meet up in the middle. And that wasn't able to happen with that interview. And I wish that they can come to grips. He probably won't do another interview. You know what I'm saying? Because it was at the end it left so much disrespect. But the street dude meet the the street smart dude meet this average street dude. They come together and they be able to work and talk about things with regards to the black community. That would have been a great thing to see. It didn't happen, unfortunately. However, black people, we need to wake up to Donald Trump. We really need to wake up what Donald Trump is specifically doing for our community. I see a lot of black women at the same time being against the whole aspect of what Donald Trump is doing for the community just based off emotion, and that's where the Democratic Party gets you tied in. At they get you tied in on your emotions, telling you that Our party is better for you than the Republican Party. And it's primarily because, this is the whole difference between this whole idea of why the Democratic Party are able to get our women so much. They're able to get our women so much because it's been more of our black women dependent on the government assistance than the black man. A black man, for all he has to go get out here and grind and hustle and all that. A black woman can have a baby, she get Section 8, she get welfare, she get food stamps, she get GR. You know what I'm saying? She gets all that. She'll get child support. A black man, he don't get that. You see, this is the ties that these Democrats are able to get to our black men, to our black women with. You know what I'm saying? And it's sad, man, because from a personal perspective, when you look at history, all we could do was based, who we are in this nation based on our merit. We had to work harder. We had to be, work at being smarter. We had to do so much based on our merit. And the Democratic Party is trying to draw all that back, draw all that back. Forget about what y'all done for this country. Come over here and be dependent, be dependent, be dependent on us, be dependent on us. Well, y'all messed up because now y'all forgetting about us. Y'all treating us like we of no importance in this country, like we do not exist. And you particularly see that in Los Angeles, in California, right? You see that in Los Angeles, California, where y'all fighting for people who necessarily have unlawfully entered this country, right? They unlawfully entered this country. Y'all fight for them. Y'all violate your own sanctuary state policies. Because, like I said, the sanctuary state policies was to protect the victim from the criminal. So how does y'all replace the criminal and victimize these people when y'all collecting these tax dollars off them? Y'all double dipping. Y'all double dipping. Y'all double. Oh my God, hold on. There we go. Sorry about that. Y'all double dipping into the system by collecting tax dollars off these people with employment identification numbers, which allows these people to, which allows you to collect taxes off of them. Not only that, y'all getting federal dollars for these people. Y'all double dipping into the system. And then y'all had a nerve to tell these people to go ahead and overthrow the government, basically. You know, go attack ICE. If we don't, man, it's like, I don't know what's going to happen. I feel like we headed towards a civil war with regards to this issue, with regards to immigration. When the policies are just set in stone, these are policies that have been here for decades, but the Democratic Party don't want to abide by them. They would rather be the radical ones. You talking about Trump being radical? He ain't doing nothing but pretty much going by the laws that are already being put in place. These are laws that have been put in place for years, and all he's doing is saying, "Man, listen, this law. What happened to these laws that y'all not following in here? These are all these laws that's supposed to be being getting followed, and with regards to this immigration, y'all not following. What happened to that? See, this is why the Democratic Party or the Republican Party is a party about nation. The Republican Party, the Democratic Party is a party about party. They don't care. As long as that they are able to get your votes and control you, that's all they want. As long as they are able to get your votes and to control you, this is all they want. And I feel particularly sorry for the immigrant population. Even though you came over here, you seek opportunities, you want opportunities. What you don't realize is that the whole scheme of the Democratic Party has always been to control you. And so their whole ideology identifies for slavery. They don't identify with having you be in your free will to assert your life into how you want it to be. And that's the sad part. Democratic Party, I mean, the Republican Party is like, listen, like he said, you can live your life based on merit, on free will, do what you want to do. Just start doing no radical stuff. Don't start abusing, the system so much to where you begin fraud, waste, and abuse. Tiny Cross HUG, man, on the Trumped Up Live Show. I enjoyed this with Antoine Daniels today. I'm an individuals, I like to study certain individuals because and see as they go into depth about certain topics. But this is one of them topics where I felt like it just hit home, especially after I had an individual the other day just was like had to give it to Donald Trump, and this was coming from a dude he was like 65 years old. He had to just like, you know what, man. Man, Donald Trump has opened my eyes up in so many different ways, and this coming from an older black male who was just able to sit and come talk to me about, man. I'm like, yeah, man, he's a man in office, huh? He's a man in office, huh? He's being the good example of what a man is in office, huh? And he was like, yeah, man, yeah. So shout outs to him for even coming up to me. You know what I'm saying? And showing that love and appreciation for another black man. Like I said, Tony Cross HUG on the Trumped Up Live Show. I'm out.